Good evening. I'm Spot On Weather meteorologist Matthew Euler, and today we're going to talk about an interesting situation for Southeast Virginia. Actually, we have an unusual summer storm for the 29th of July, and I'm going to go right into the current details of what's going on right now. All right, so on the infrared satellite image here on the left, you notice a bright line of clouds offshore of the east coast of the United States. And this line is associated with thunderstorm development out over the Gulf Stream. The Gulf Stream is a warm ocean current which actually flows parallel to the east coast up right off the mid-Atlantic then out to sea. So there's a lot of instability over the Gulf Stream right now, a lot of thunderstorm activity at the present time. If you look back over southeast Virginia and over eastern North Carolina, you'll notice a duller gray texture or color to the clouds, and that is indicative of lower clouds. And these lower clouds have been giving us a very gloomy day in southeast Virginia today. Very gloomy, gray, very thick cloud cover. Temperatures didn't rise up a whole lot today, but these clouds are precipitating, and they're precipitating periods of rain across the area. Looking on the image here on the right, we have a current radar picture as of 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time this evening, and you'll see a little bit of return of some greens and some yellows over southeastern Virginia right now, and this is on the back side of an area of lower pressure right off the coast, right over Bay Capes. This is some moisture that is coming in off the ocean into the area, some low nimbostratus clouds, again making for a very dull gray day. Regional observations and precipitation totals as of 8 p.m. this evening. If we look at the chart here on the left, these are station plots, and each station plot, the upper left-hand number, for example on this one, indicates the current air temperature. The 10 there on this plot would basically show you the visibility, and the lower left-hand number on the station plot is your dew point temperature. And then we have these wind barbs which indicate the direction from which the wind is blowing. Right now across the area, if you look at the Norfolk Airport, they are currently, I'll zoom in a little bit on this, they're looking at a temperature of only 72 degrees, and temperatures have remained in the low 70s all day across southeast Virginia. Their dew point is 68, and they are having some rain showers at the current time, and the barometric pressure is at 997.6 millibars. So a lot of northerly winds. The winds are very strong. We've been getting winds 25 to as high as 35 mile per hour wind gusts. A lot of strong winds all the way up also into Delaware, into Maryland, into the eastern shore area. There's a very strong gradient of winds blowing from the north and northeast right now. And then on the right-hand side here, we show you, the legend is here at the bottom right, and this shows you the total storm precipitation as of up to 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time this evening. And there's a lot of lighter blues. Some darker blue areas here indicate about 0.60, just over half an inch of rain. Heavier pockets of rain have been just south of the Virginia border over northern North Carolina, where there's been anywhere from 2.5 to 4 inches of rain, and then even heavier amounts fell up over northern Virginia into Maryland. And what's so unusual about this storm system today is the fact that this is typically something we would see more in the fall or the springtime, where you have a lot of atmospheric energy, you got some jet dynamics, you have some mid-level vorticity or spin of air parcels, which leads to a thunderstorm, cyclone development over the area. So now let's take a look at the current synoptic picture as of 8 p.m. this evening. There is an area of low pressure, 1,002 millibars, sitting over just off southeast of Cape Cod, Massachusetts. There's a frontal system which has moved through the area that is draped southwestward, just south, basically just into southern North Carolina, into the southeast states. There's a large 1,020 millibar sprawling high pressure system which is pushing in some northerly and northeasterly winds, and the pressure difference between this 1020 millibar high and this 1,002 millibar low offshore, that's what generates your wind as air blows from higher towards lower pressure. And as it does so, the greater the difference in pressure between this high center and this low pressure center, the stronger the winds will blow. You see a little bit of green over the area right now. That's that backwash on the backside of this storm system. That's the rain coming in off the Atlantic Ocean on basically the nimbostratus clouds, that low, dull gray cloudscape outside. All right, so now let's move ahead to the forecast. And let's take a look at the forecast starting tomorrow, the 30th of July. So another area of low pressure is going to form, and it's going to form southeast of Cape Hatteras. It's non-tropical in nature at about 1,009 millibars, and it's going to have some more showers and thunderstorms associated with it. Basically, the frontal system is just stalling out over the warm Gulf Stream, and these areas of low pressure developing along it. For us here in Southeast Virginia, we have 1,023 millibar high situated over eastern Iowa, which is going to direct in a northeasterly wind off the water, and that's going to result in a drying trend starting tomorrow on Sunday with some much more pleasant temperatures. High temperatures only expected to be around 78 to 80 degrees for a high tomorrow with low humidity, and that'll be the key, and that's what's really going to make it feel good out there, not only Sunday, but also Monday and Tuesday. Monday's forecast, this high pressure system situated basically over Chicago, over southern Lake Michigan, 1,022 millibars on Monday, dominating and keeping dry conditions from eastern Iowa all the way to the east coast, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, all the way down to southeast Virginia. Again, this frontal system remains stalled out over the Gulf Stream, and it's located to our southeast, so we're not expecting any of this moisture to basically move back into the area. We expect it to remain well offshore. So looking really good on Monday as well. High temperatures generally about 81 to 82 degrees on Monday with low humidity once again. Forecast now for Tuesday, the 1st of August. High pressure breaks off from the Midwest and parks itself basically right overhead of southeast Virginia. 1,020 millibars. Nice, fairly high pressure for this time of the year when you consider it's early August and the sun is still fairly strong. We expect some dry conditions on Tuesday. A little bit warmer conditions. High temperatures about 83 to 84 degrees. Now on Wednesday, that high pressure system that was over us on Tuesday drifts off to the western Atlantic. It eventually is going to get merged into the subtropical high pressure system, the Bermuda High. We still will remain dry on Wednesday. However, the winds now, as this high moves offshore, will switch around more to the south-southwest, and that's going to result in an increase in humidity and temperatures, with high temperatures expected to be on Wednesday into the middle to even the upper 80s. And the dew points, how comfortable the air feels, are going to be on the increase as well. Forecast for Thursday. Now with Thursday, we have a frontal system that's sitting now over basically an area of low pressure over Maine, with a frontal system extending southwestward to New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, into southern Indiana. We're still dry on Thursday, but we are definitely going to be more muggy, and the temperatures are going to again increase. We're expecting highs in the upper 80s once more on Thursday. We are expecting more southerly wind flow, southwesterly wind flow out ahead of this frontal system, which is trying its best to make its way from the northwest into our area. And then on Friday, the 4th of August, to end the work week, the upcoming work week, we do have an area of low pressure that will then develop over the Midwest. The frontal system that was here approaching on Thursday dissipates. We will have a new frontal system trying to gather steam from the Midwest, moving southeast over time. Again, a dry day on Friday. And then looking longer range, we're showing you some 30,000 foot winds, the jet stream, which really, if you have a trough like this, a U-shaped on a jet stream, this blue, light blue colors, these tighter height contours or height lines, they indicate where the main jet axis is located. If you're in the U-shaped part, you generally are cooler north of it. You're going to be warmer to the south of this jet axis. And so by looking longer range here on Friday the 4th, here's the upper air pattern. We have a trough of low pressure over the Intermountain West. By the 5th Saturday next weekend, this trough deepens and progresses to the east. So we have a cool pocket of air at about 30,000 feet, sitting generally over the northern, basically the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes area. So this troughing has been a feature. This ridging and the troughing over the eastern United States has been a persistent feature for the summer for the most part. Now, we have had some hotter episodes, but persistent trough over the eastern United States keeps hottest temperatures out west. That's the bottom line in the long range right now. This trough continues over the eastern United States as indicated by this jet stream axis. Basically this pool of cool air aloft basically pivots its way towards East Coast by the 7th of August. And that's the way it looks right now in the long range. We still do not see any tropical systems in the offing anywhere in the Atlantic. There's a 20% chance of something developing with a disturbance, but it's well out over the open waters of the Atlantic at the present time. Nothing right now is indicative of a tropical system impacting the east coast of the United States. So the final thoughts for this evening. We are expecting a persistent upper level trough over the eastern United States, which is going to result in slightly below to seasonable temperatures for southeastern Virginia through Friday the 4th of August. Comfortable temperatures and lower humidity is expected Sunday the 30th of July through Tuesday the 1st of August. The next few days look really great, I will be honest. It's going to be a really pleasant temperatures, very low humidity, dew points dropping into the lower 60s. Temperatures in the evening could drop overnight into the early morning hours into the lower to middle 60s. So there is your temperature forecast, upper 70s to middle 80s, low temperatures in the middle 60s to the lower 70s. And then slightly warmer and more humid conditions beginning Wednesday the 2nd of August as we have a return to more southerly winds. And then by Thursday, more southwesterly winds. And that is definitely a wind that brings up a lot of heat and humidity over time to southeast Virginia. And we're going to remain dry through Thursday. We do have a cold front that's going to try to come through the area. It's approaching from the northwest. We're going to have to keep an eye on that to see if it have enough jet stream support to push through the area, or if those upper level winds will blow parallel to it. That would then stall it out, possibly to the north of the area, and we would remain in the warmer and muggier air mass. All right, that wraps it up this evening. This is the latest from Spot On Weather. I'm meteorologist Matthew Euler, and I'm wishing you a great, pleasant evening this Saturday evening. Have a great evening, everyone.